For those who are not involved in a CIVITAS project, CIVITAS is a network of 200 cities across Europe testing new technologies and innovative concepts for cleaner and better transport in cities. For more information about the measures, the network and the training opportunities, I would like to refer you to the CIVITAS website. This webinar is organized by 3 actors. One is the support action CIVITAS. Then 2 is the CIVITAS Archimedes, which is one of the 5 CIVITAS projects, and 3 is the CIVITAS thematic group on less car-intensive lifestyle. During this webinar, measures to create ideal conditions for cycling infrastructure and promotional campaigns will be presented. 5 Archimedes cities will present their cycling measures. Of course, I hope you will get inspired the next 60 minutes. And to end, I would like to give the floor to Marianne Weinreich from Vexo Mobility in Denmark. She will be the moderator of this webinar. Please have a nice webinar.
Thank you. I hope that you see my slides. Can you confirm, Gustav? Welcome to you all. My name is Marianne Weinreich and I'm head of the mobility department at Vexo in Denmark. I'm also vice chairman of Cycling Embassy of Denmark and a biped auditor. And I have worked with cycling promotion and policy for the last 12 years in Denmark as well in different EU projects. And I'm happy to host CIVITAS webinar. We are 40 people participating, I hope. We are a mixed group of both experienced and not so experienced cycling consultants and cycling officers from both starter, climber and champion cities. I know several of you and many of you know each other, but unfortunately we do not have time for everybody to present themselves. But welcome to you all and great that you could join us. We have a tight agenda today.
Marianne, we cannot see the slides yet. Can you confirm? Yes, there they are. Thank you.
Are the slides on now?
Yeah.
Good. We have a tight agenda today. My job is to make sure that we get through the entire programs in 90 minutes. We were 15 minutes delayed, so I think we will have the 15 minutes at the end instead. That means that I will have to be strict sometimes, both in regards to the presentations and the question-answer time. But you will be able to answer questions after pairs of presentations, as you see hopefully on your screen. If you have questions to the presenters, you can write them in the chat box, and you can start by writing the name of the person to whom you want to ask the question, and then I will present the question to the person that you want to ask it to. I will just give a brief introductions to different tools, because all over the world cycling is on the mobility agenda, but where to start and what to do. So I will introduce you briefly to different tools designed to identify which measures to focus on when working with cycling policy in a city. All experience shows that if a city really wants to promote cycling, a strategic, systematic, integrated approach is the way to go. The basis for such an approach is to identify a baseline, which means the strengths and weaknesses of your city's existing cycling policy. In cycling planning, there are different tools to determine such a baseline. One of the tools designed to do so is the biped tool. It's a self-evaluation tool which have been used in over 170 cities, towns and regions in 24 countries during the last 10 years. The tool works the way that a biped audit group of 2 politicians, 2 civil servants and 2 user group representatives goes through the BiPAD questionnaire facilitated by a BiPAD auditor. And the city scores itself in 9 different modules that has been identified as the different issues that you have to deal with to have a successful cycling policies. And all Archimedes cities have done BiPAD audits to determine their strengths and weaknesses and use that to choose which measures to implement. In the CHAMP project, it's also an EU project with the different cities. We are working with another approach where we have analyzed different tools and are now working with a new tool based on the so-called peer review model, where peers review each other instead of using external experts or consultants. The tool is going to be presented on the CHAMP cycling website when we're finished, but we are in the process of going through the peer review. We have finished the self-analysis, are working on the peer review and gap analysis. But you can read more about that on the web page. The PRESTO project has also looked at which measures suits different levels of cycling and has developed 4 policy guides and 25 information fact sheets to help build capacity in cycling cities. The 4 policy guides offer officers, consultants and decision makers a systematic framework to develop a cycling strategy. And the guidelines cover cycling infrastructure, cycling promotion, electric bicycles and general cycling framework. And you can find all the documents from the training session held for starter, climber and champion cities at the PRESTO website. There's a lot of good material to be found there. And I think that was my introduction. So I would like to start the city presentations. And the first up is Katarina Obtabzova from the city of Ústí nad Labem. I hope I'm pronouncing it right, in Czech Republic. Katarina is local dissemination and measure leader and is working in the Department of Transport. After her, we have Marius Homozinu from the city of Iași in Romania, and he will also talk about what they have done there. And after these 2 presentations, you can ask questions to these presenters. Please, Katarina, it's now your turn.
Oh, thank you. So I will present, if I can. Yeah, okay. We said, actually the situation in Ústí is that we have very little road space dedicated to cycling and a very low amount of cyclists. So the objectives that we set were rather basic to improve conditions in the city. First of all, we decided to provide complex information about cycling opportunities that already exist in the city through a complex website for cyclists in the area. Then another objective was to improve cycling infrastructure in the city and provided services. This was done through a feasibility study. And we implemented a BiPAD audit, and so the other objective was to utilize results of the cycle policy audit performed in the city. The challenges we have are, first of all, the elevation profile of the city is difficult for cycling, as you can see on the picture on the right side. The city is located on the river in the basin, and it is surrounded by hills, so it may be difficult for cyclists to cycle in this terrain. Then we have insufficient cycling infrastructure. In the current state, the cycle roads lead through motor traffic roads. There are no dedicated lanes for cyclists, and there is only one separated cycle road along the Elbe River. The city has very low budget for cycle transport improvement, so what we could do was only implement soft measures, and then we are assigning priorities for further actions to be implemented. So what we actually did, we implemented the cycling web portal for cyclists in the city. We gathered all available information about opportunities, services, and points of interest for cyclists in the city, so we wanted to show them what they can actually use. Then we made a feasibility study about how to improve the cycling infrastructure. There are, you can see on the map on the right, there are some major international cycle roads in the area which are not connected, and we proposed connecting cycle road leading through the city, which can be used for cyclists who are already using the implemented cycle roads. It's the red line on the map. Then we implemented the biped audit, and individual steps for improvements were put into the action plan, which we incorporated into the SUTP for Ústí nad Labem. And the final step is that we provided training of school children in safe cycling and traffic rules, and this traffic training is still going on and will be further carried on by the municipal police. Results, what we already have is that the website for cyclists was promoted and accepted by local cyclists as a useful tool. And the traffic training is going well. All fourth graders in the city participate in traffic training, among other children in the city. But we have many actions that they are required in the future. First of all, we would like to implement the action plan for cycle transport improvements, which was put into the SUTP. It needs to be accepted and implemented by city authorities. Then the solution proposed in the feasibility study, we would like to implement this in the city. We would like to repeat the biped audit periodically and implement recommendations from this audit. And we will continuously update and improve the web portal for cyclists. The conclusion is that the city presents considerable potential for cycle transport improvements. There are numerous points of interest in the Ústí region which are attractive for cyclists. The city is surrounded by natural trails which are very nice for cycling, and the city is located between two major cycle roads of international importance, as you could see on the map before, which are highly used by cyclists, and which could be, if they are connected, these cycle roads, they can be used also by cyclists in Ústí. So the city has this potential, but there is continuous long-term efforts needed to encourage greater take-up of cycling in the city. And we will try to improve the situation. Thank you.
Thank you, Katerina. I have a question for you. Mm-hmm. How did you decide which measures to implement after you did the biped audit?
Well, first of all, it's related to setting the objectives that we had at the beginning, the city has a low budget for cycle transport improvements right now, so we needed to first start the activities by some soft measures, some low-cost measures, and this was the first really feasible steps that we could do was to provide cyclists with the information about possibilities they already have. So that was the basic step to improve awareness about cycling opportunities. And then we know that the cycling can be improved if more infrastructure improvements are provided, more improved services for cyclists. So the second step was to make a feasibility study of how it can be improved and how cycling would be encouraged by actually investing in some improvements. And the biped audit, there are some priorities set to each action, so we will try to continue in the efforts, but so far we started with just what we could do with the low budget.
Thank you. Is the presentation, Mauricio's presentation ready? Because then we will go to Marius Homozinu from the city of Iași in Romania.
Okay.
Yes, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you very much. I will start by saying that in Iași, before the implementation of the Archimedes project and of the measure 59 city cycle routes, the city didn't express an important interest in bicycle use. There were no cycling infrastructure, no campaign promoting bicycle use as an alternative mode of transport. And so the use of the bicycle was insignificant. Around 1% of the total number of trips were effectuated using bicycle. Now the objective of the measure was to encourage people to use the bicycle as an alternative mode of transport for their trips in order to reduce traffic and pollution. As a challenge for cycling in Iași, we can mention the change of the people's transfer behavior oriented towards mode of transport like private car or public transport. Then some difficulties with the geography in certain zones of the city generated by relief conditions or urban arrangements, and the difficulty with the safety of cyclists problem, which we consider that we solved by the construction of the bike trail. So the measure consisted on the construction of a bike trail which incorporates bicycle parking places and special colored street markings to indicate the bicycle route. The bicycle use promotional campaign, which consisted of two major components: organizing events for promoting bicycle use, and second, school education and media promotion campaign for using bicycle. As results, we have constructed a cycle route around 11 kilometers of bike trail. The cycling promotion campaign is realized under the logo BT Cultura. We have organized events with important participation of citizens, like opening of the bike trail or various contests. And also we have distributed promotional materials in 11 high schools and 5 universities. So flyers, notebooks, pens, brochure, etc. And so we have promoted the cycling use by radio, TV, writing, press, and press conferences. As results, we have also a level of awareness and acceptance of the use of the bicycle, which have increased. Also, the number of cyclists counted within 3 hours in the morning and 1.5 hours in the afternoon passing through a point on the cycle lane increased from 111 in October 2010 to 148 in October 2011. And also the use of bicycle among pupils and students in their home school trips increased from 1% before the implementation of the measure to around 8% after the implementation. As conclusion, we consider that the objectives of the measure 59 was achieved, and given the success of this type of measure, Archimedes demonstrated the opportunity of continuing the bicycle use promotion campaign and extending also the cycling infrastructure, and that leads to the development of a global mobility strategy which involves a set of measures and correlated policies of transport and urbanism. And that represent a component of a strategy being the extension of the cycle infrastructure in the city by the construction actually of 2 new bike trails on other 2 projects on European funds. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Marius. I have a question for you, Marius. Which challenges did you face in the implementation phase of the different measures?
The challenge. So.
Yeah, but when you implemented the measures, what challenges did you face in that phase?
We have some difficulties with the urban arrangements. In certain zones we had not the proper condition to construct the bike trail, but we consider that we solved that. Also, initially the peoples and the people of the city, the transport behavior oriented also towards other mode of transport. So we need to develop a campaign, a very serious campaign to educate and promote the bicycle. I think that was the true problems, but now we are experiencing very clear acceptance for citizens of the use of bicycle like transport mode.
Has the image of cyclists and cycling changed?
Yes, clearly.
Okay. And what about you, Katarina? Has the image of cyclists and cycling changed because of the measures you implemented? I think she's muted. Yeah, Katarina, now you're on. Did you hear my question?
Well, what we implemented so far was the web portal. So that is the we can only follow the number of users, and it seems that we have good feedback about the web portal. I'm not sure how much it increased the number of of local cyclists, but we have information that it's a useful tool for them. I don't know if it was cyclists who were already before cycling or if it attracted new cyclists, but it's used by local cyclists, so it was worth it.
Okay, good. We have a question for you, Marius, from Antonella Meloni, and she's asking, how long did it take to develop your measure from planning to its implementation?
From planning to the implementation, about I think 1 year, 1.5 years, something like that.
Okay.
The measure is the construction of the bike trail and the promotion campaign also. Is that?
Okay. Good. If there are no more questions, I think we will move to the next presenter, and it is Fermin Charte from city of Donostia in San Sebastian, Spain, and Simonetta Vittoria from the city of Monza in Italy. And Fermin, are you ready?
Yeah.
Yes. I see your
Hello.
presentation. Hello, the floor is yours, Fermin.
Yeah. Hello, good morning to everyone, and thank you for being here. I'm going to do a presentation of cycle lanes in San Sebastian. I'm going to talk about the backgrounds. The city, it's a city of 185,000 people, and it's about 50% of the population lives in hilly areas. Before the start of the CIVITAS, there were 28 kilometers of cycle lanes. There was not a public bike sharing system, and there were 9 lifts and 7 mechanical ramps and escalators, and there was no 30 zones. In 2008, the number of cycle users were 11,631 users per month. Per day, excuse me, and the objectives included in CIVITAS project were doing 15 kilometers of cycle lanes, 2 of walking areas, an increase in 30% of the use of the bicycle in the city, and include a parking space for residents in the bus station. At the same time, in the Mission 57, it was included the vertical transport, 5 new lifts and 1 new ramp, and then installed the public bike sharing. The challenges in our city, the most important one is the physical obstacles. It's a hilly city, and we need any other synergies like including vertical transport to open new routes for cycling and walking, and making special cycle lanes with low scopes. Then there's the cultural part. Part of the population doesn't even consider the possibility to change the behaviors from car to cycle. And some of these people don't. They are not very agree with taking the space from the road for the bicycle. Some people think that cycling by the road is not safe. We have some problems with coexistence between pedestrians and cyclists. We have another challenge. We have a problem with nowadays still being car traffic is still being the main element in the city, and that causes delays in cycling. And then there's the financial problem. It's difficult to find the money to make these cycle lanes and more nowadays. And then the security of parking the bicycles outside and spaces for parking inside. What we have done during these years has been For the physical obstacles, we have used tunnels to make shortcuts in between different neighborhoods. The one we can see at the right-hand side up here, it's a 800 meters tunnel. It used to be a train tunnel, and the total length of the cycle lane, it's 1,650 meters. The reduction of the time, it's important because the distance you had to do before constructing this infrastructure were 4 kilometers, and nowadays 2 kilometers. It connects university and industrial area with a very important neighborhood with a high population. Then the 211 we have constructed another shorter tunnel and bridge over the highway, and it's a very important connection with the outside of the city with the next municipality, and opens a new road in the city. And then about cultural problems, we have constructed certain sources to reduce the speed of the cars and make cyclists go by the road and make them feel safer. We have implemented the bike sharing system, and we have the information campaigns to try to make better the coexistence between pedestrians and cyclists. Here we can see the infrastructure that was made before CIVITAS in red color, and then in different colors the other cycling that has been done in while CIVITAS. The main infrastructure we've made during these years has been the tunnel I have shown you before that connects these two neighborhoods. This will be a hilly area. The route that connects the beach area with the sport area that goes all through the city center, and the connection with the shorter tunnel that goes to the nearest municipality and opens a new route to the city. We have opened, as I have said, this new route connecting the beach with the sport area. And now we are trying to open new parkings for cycles in public parkings. We are talking with the industries that manage these places. And during this year, we have been funding funding from different statements to construct all this infrastructure. And to increase the safety, we have put more parking spaces. And as I have said, we are trying to make a parking covered in the car parkings. About the results we have had, as you can see here in these tables up here, the increase in the number of users has increased in 32.61%. And down here we have the table where it shows the increase in the construction of cycle lanes. And as it can be seen, as you go increasing the construction of cycle lanes, the increase of users goes at the very same. At the left-hand side, we can see here the table where it can be shown the use per number of users of each bike per day, and the bike sharing system, how has been increasing. The last year has been an increase of 65%. And the conclusions are that the cycle net has to have continuity to be safe and comfortable. The construction of cycle lanes directly affects to the increase of the use of the bicycle. The bike sharing system it helps to increase the use of the bicycle. It's very important to implement vertical transport in hilly areas because it's very helpful to open new cycling and walking routes. And it's very important at the same time as it's the cycle line net, it's extended to make bicycle parking spaces and especially covered parking spaces, and as a way to change the behavior of people, information campaigns and taking on the pedestrians and take care with the coexistence with them. That's all my presentation. Thank you to everyone.
Thank you. Before going to the question section, I think I will ask Simonetta Vittoria to give her presentation if it is ready. And then we will get back to your presentation, Fermin, with questions after.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you.
Okay. So, let me show you. Thank you.
Yes, and Simonetta, Victoria, you are a site manager in the city of Monza in Italy.
Yes. Yes, good morning everybody. I apologize. Can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you.
Yeah, okay. First of all, I want to apologize for my presentation, which maybe is longer than other people, but I will try to be very quick, considering also that we have been delayed by technical problems. Okay. Monza can be considered the climber city since can be considered a climber city in cycling. We have about 22 kilometers of cycling routes, even though some of them are still not interconnected. According to some data we collected in 2003, cycling in Monza represents 8.9% of the modal share. This is if we consider roads which have access to the city center, whilst on the more external routes, the modal share doesn't reach 1%, since there are very large streets and where it can be dangerous to cycle. Cyclists are increasing year by year. Each year in September we have a bicycle census organized by Monza in Bici, which is the Cyclists Association of the city. And here you can see some data about the slow but constant increasing of the number of cyclists in Monza. Please consider that Monza has about 123,000 inhabitants. Okay. Okay. For measure 62 in Archimedes, during the research stage of the measure, a bike plan for the city of Monza and the project for the bike sharing scheme have been developed. The bike plan was approved by the city government together with the constructing criteria for cycling routes. Bike sharing scheme nevertheless has been delayed because due to the economic crisis the municipality was not allowed to invest money which were originally allocated as the municipality share of project funding. Fortunately, some extra revenues have been realized within the end of last year. So, but this money came from another department, from the Public Works Department. So improvements we had to realize during Archimedes' lifetime were dedicated to accessibility or to the railway station and to infrastructural interventions. As for the railway station, we had some problems to install ramps to transport bicycles along the stairs in the station because the railway management was very severe about restrictions, since the station in Monza is considered an historical building. So we must be very careful to respect the building, since it's protected by the Beautiful Arts Department of the mission. In the meanwhile, we are installing a camcorder which will control the outdoor cycle parking from the station, where many thefts have been reported. 800 meters of cycling route have been completed in Via Buonarroti, and the revamping of the cycle walkway in Via San Gottardo has been realized. You can see the cycling route during the works and after the results we achieved. As far as the infrastructural interventions are concerned, we connected the cycling routes of Via Montesanto with Via Carnia in San Rocco district, and we are realizing a short connection between two sections of the cycling routes of Via Arda in San Albino district. Some results coming from evaluation stage of the measure. This is the costs we had to face to realize the interventions, and these are the indicators we assessed for the evaluation stage of the measure. During the bicycle census of 2009, we had a survey on a sample of 2,098 people. This survey will be made again during the bicycle census of 2012. And these are the results. We had 62% of the interviewed people use often the bicycle, and mostly to keep fit, to respect the environment, and to save money. The 33% use it rarely because of traffic, few cycling routes, and long journey time. Even so, generally, journeys are not so long because Monza has a diameter of 5 kilometers, so it can be all covered by bike. And the people generally think that cycling improvements might lead to an increase in cycling. These are measures that people think useful for a cycling implementation: more and better connected cycling routes, safer crossroads, guarded parkings, bike rentals, and accessible railway and bus stations. Unfortunately, the Cycling Association is known only by the 44% of surveyed people. As for security, 32% of surveyed people suffered from thefts, 32% from falls, and 13.8% from accidents. The important data is that in case of theft, only 44% have been reported to the police. As far as process evaluation is concerned, important drivers were the involvement of citizens and cyclists association, and a new conceptual approach towards soft modes, which should lead to a reduce of the need for private car use. Barriers, we have, as I told you before, a lack of connections between some cycling routes and some insufficient space in the narrow streets of Monza, since Monza has developed around a medieval center, so that there are streets where it's completely impossible to find place for the cycling route. Some policy key stakeholders since now have been insufficiently involved or aware of the importance of cycling. We hope that with the new government, which will be presented to the City Council tomorrow on Saturday, a new sensitiveness about cycling will be achieved. And obviously, always also the unavailability of funds to implement bike sharing system has delayed the realization of the measure, and the difficult relationships with the railway management. As for future plans, we would like to complete. We think to complete the structural interventions. We will have the new bicycle census and the tender for the bike sharing system in Monza. Obviously, we are confident that we'll push toward cycling mobility. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Simonetta. I think I will just ask each of you one question. I don't have any questions on my screen, so I will just ask you one each. Fermin, which challenges did you face in the implementation of your measures, for instance, like the tunnel?
One of the most important one was the funding of that big structural building. It was the budget was very high, and we had to find an opportunity with another with the Basque government to make at the same time that a new train tunnel was making built behind it. So at the same time we did it. So that was the way we did it, funding with another government, and that was the hardest element.
How was the discussion in the city about this fairly expensive measurement for cyclists?
There was not much problem with it because cycle lanes were built here since for 20 years, so it's very common and there's no big problems with making this kind of infrastructures, and more when you connect very important neighborhoods that make much easier for people to move from one side of the city to the other one. So there were not problems with that.
So people were satisfied with your solution?
Yeah, was satisfied.
Yeah, and was shown in your numbers. Yeah, good. And then Simonetta,
Yes.
what has changed because of the Archimedes project in Monza? What's different now than before you implemented the measures?
Well, it was, actually we haven't still implemented the measure because the works are still in progress because of the delay we suffered from the lack of funds. I think that what is going to change is a more the increase of sensitiveness about cycling now that we have a new government, and that after Archimedes we have had the opportunity to see in other cities their approach to cycling, especially for instance in San Sebastian and in Olberg and in Brighton.
Okay, good. Thank you both very much. Now is the time to hear Elke Francois. She is working with Mobile 21 in Belgium. Are you ready, Elke?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you now, loud and clear.
Okay.
The floor is yours, Elke.
Okay, wonderful. Okay, thank you. So I will give a presentation. No, not ends. On Fietssuite in Dutch. It's a project, well, maybe you can call it Bicycle Suite. It's the title of my presentation. The idea was that more and more people are using the bike in cities in Belgium for short distances, which is a good news, of course. But where are you supposed to store your bike when you live in an apartment or a house in a row where there's no room for putting your bike? And research shows that many people refrain from cycling when the bike is not within the reach. So the idea was to gather together good examples of renovations of houses in a row and apartments where space is foreseen for the bike based on a checklist. We gather good examples also of neighborhood bicycle racks foreseen by the municipality where people can store their bike on the street but closed from everyone else. And we also had set up guidelines for municipalities take into account the storage of bikes. The target groups are renovators of houses, architects of course, and municipalities. Now I will show you a lot of pictures of ideas that we have gathered, good examples that we have gathered and that are listed up in brochures. The first idea is here that you can put your bike in a house in a row in a closet. It's the picture on the right hand side. It is a closet in the hallway, and you can open the doors and you can put there like 3 bikes in there, and they are away, and it's clean in the hallway, and you have room in the hallway to go to move. The bikes are not in the way. It's also an idea of putting your bike in a house in a row as a buffer between the living room and the street. So at the beginning of the house you can put your bikes. It's always near to the street, so it's a buffer between the street and where you live. And the bikes are away, they are safe, they are inside the house or closed. At the picture on the right hand side, it's closed, it's away. They are dry, so it's two new ideas. This is also via intelligence adaptations, like those houses, they have to there's a difference between the street and the back side of the house, about half a meter, so they have put there a ramp indeed, so they can go with a bike from the beginning of the house at the end of the house with no steps. This is also an idea that you can put your bicycles up, but you have to have some handy systems to do. The left-hand side picture is a system that you can put your bike and then it goes up, and you don't have to be very strong to do that. But you can also use something like that for just the child bikes, and you put something on the wall, some metal, that the wall doesn't get that dirty, metal you can clean easily. We also had some examples of neighborhood bicycle racks. So the idea is that a people in the street, a person in the street can buy a place or rent a place of the municipality, and then you have a safe and closed place for your bike. We have 3 examples. The first one is an example in Ghent, city of Ghent, which is done because they are part of CIVITAS, but also in Bruges there are examples, and we also have examples in Antwerp. Also Mechelen, the city of Mechelen will start with it. So you can see that a person can rent one place for a bike and it's safe and closed. So the results are that we have 2 folders, 2 brochures, one for architects and renovators and one for municipalities. It's in Dutch, of course, but we also have made a movie, and you can watch it on YouTube or on Altis. And it's a movie spoken in Dutch, but there are English subtitles, and we show there a lot of ideas of renovated houses, apartments, and also the neighborhood bicycle racks. So I suggest that you go and watch the movie, of course. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Elke. I have a question for you. Here you're presenting bicycle parking inside the houses.
Yes.
Is there no room for parking in the street?
Well, there is of course room for parking in the streets, but it's a discussion between parking in the streets for bicycles and parking in the streets for cars. And also the idea is that renovators and owners of houses have their own responsibility to foresee a place for their own bike, because we want to have our bike safe, close, protected from rain, weather and theft, of course. And it's a division between responsibilities between municipalities and owners of houses. So that's why that we suggest that owners should think of foreseen place for their bikes when they start renovating their houses.
Okay, good. Thank you. Yeah, I think we are on track with the time now. We will have the possibility to ask questions to all at the end, so I think I will go to the next presentation, and that is Anne-Marie Lautrup from the city of Aalborg. She's a traffic planner in the city of Aalborg and has been so for the last 4 years. And Anne-Marie has been working with a broad range of measures. Are you ready with your presentation?
Yes, I'm ready, and I hope you can see my presentation as well.
Yes, I can, and I hear you loud and clear. The floor is yours, Anne-Marie.
Perfect. I'll tell you a little bit about our commuter travel route here in Aalborg, which we have implemented as part of the Archimedes project. But first of all, a little bit of the background and a little bit of information about cycling within the city here in Aalborg. As you can see here on the slide, 23% of the trips shorter than 5 kilometers are made by bike. And as you can see here on the slide, this is maybe compared to some of the other cities, a relatively high share of biking. But still we have a lot of these shorter trips that are made by car. Actually 37% of them are made by car, so that's a relatively high share. The city of Aalborg has around 120,000 inhabitants, and 55% of these inhabitants states that they actually bike at least once a week, and 44% of the people who has access to a car actually use the bike on a daily basis as well. So that says something about that we actually are dealing with a city where people can be bicyclists one day and then car drivers the next day. As you can see here in the slide, I've also put a map of the city of Aalborg with some circles on it. And the radius of these circles are 5 kilometers. So that shows something about that we're dealing with a city that is relatively dense, where you have good opportunities to use your bike at these shorter trips. I put one circle from the center in the city center, and then another circle from the university area, which also shows that the university area is actually loaded around 5 kilometers from the city centers, and you can reach quite a large part of the city from the university area within 5 kilometers. And the university is interesting because that is actually the first place where we have developed this commuter travel route. And as I said before, the starting point is that we have quite a large share of people that bike, and we have quite a lot of infrastructure for cyclists in place already. We have around 450 kilometers of bicycle lanes within the municipality. But as I said before, within the city of Aalborg, we still have 37% of car trips less than 5 kilometers that are made by car. So we still have a potential that could be much more improved. Looking at these commuter travel network that we wanted to create, I put in a map where I've highlighted the route to the university area, which is the first part of this network that we would like to build. And the commuter network for cyclists focus at three focus areas that have been guiding for the work that we have done with the measure. First of all, we wanted to create a network with focus at free flow conditions for cyclists. And that has to do with that the service has shown that it's very important for cyclists that they can, first of all, that they can go directly from A to B, and then again that they can avoid stops, and that they can travel with a good speed. And these aspects are important when people they want to choose to bike instead of the car. Then second of all, traffic safety has been a focus area, because all the initiatives will not be implemented without looking at the traffic safety conditions. Then the last point is about visibility and service, and that has something to do that we wanted to create a network that cyclists could recognize, and where the cyclists also felt that they were prioritized and equal with cars on the street. And it also has something to do with branding cycling as a way of traveling around the city. Now I want to take you around for a little tour on this route. It's, as I said, it's from the city centers to the university, so it's around 5 kilometers. And at these 5 kilometers we have upgraded the infrastructure with making dedicated bicycling lanes at certain parts of it. But what I want to tell you about now is some of the specific initiatives that are implemented in respect to these 3 different focus areas. First of all, we have implemented initiatives with focus at free flow conditions for the cyclists. We have implemented the dark picture actually shows a lane light system with lights that are installed in the pavement and linked with a traffic light. So if you come there as a cyclist and follow the green lights on the pavement, then you will also reach the intersection at the green light. So that should save you travel time. The picture at the top to the right is from an intersection that has been rebuilt as part of the measure, and where you can see before the cyclists had to stop for cars, but now they have the priority and they don't have to give way for the cars. At the bottom to the left is also an intersection where the cyclists have been given priority. So they've been given more green time or given green time faster in this specific intersection. And to the right at the bottom, it's an intersection that has been rebuilt with a shunt where cyclists turning right don't have to stop and wait for the traffic signal. So that's actually something that gives concrete improvements in travel time as well. Looking at some of the initiatives that focus specifically at traffic safety, we have the picture at the bottom to the left shows actually how it looked before, but with these improvements that we have done on the route, we have installed bicycle lanes at quite a large part of the stretch, but specifically we have focused at improving conditions at bus stops, as you can see on the picture to the right, where cyclists can go behind the bus stops and don't have to be in conflict with passengers waiting for the bus. And then we have also focused at improving and making bicyclists more visible at the intersections, as you can see at the picture above. Then about visibility and service, this is sort of, you can say, the cream, the icing on the cake. First of all, we have installed signs at the route, so it's easy for the cyclists to follow them, as you can see in the picture below. And then we have installed a counter that counts cyclists on the route and also measure the cyclists' speed. So they can see how fast they travel and how they are giving an indication of how long it will take for them to reach the university area. And then we have also installed air pumps at the route at 2 different places, as you can see at the picture at the top to the right. And as I said before, these are sort of course service for the cyclists, but as you can see on the picture to the top, the picture of the counter, it's our alderman standing out there being interviewed for TV. So these kinds of initiatives are also something that creates visibility and brand cycling as a way of transport within the city. I'll just take you quickly to some of the results of this measure. We have started the evaluation of this measure in the last couple of weeks, and we have made some countings that shows that from 2009, before we started the work, and to 2011, there is an increase around 20 to 30% in the number of cyclists on the route. And within the last couple of weeks, we have also done a survey asking cyclists on the route how they perceive it, of course in respect to these 3 different focus areas that I talked about before. And in terms of free flow conditions, 84% experience that it's faster to travel from A to B when biking on the route. And in terms of traffic safety, 90% of the respondents say that they actually feel safe when traveling there. And 80% of the cyclists were familiar with the improved conditions on the route. And overall, 84% replied a general satisfaction with the commuter route. So that were some quite positive numbers. Some brief conclusions on the work. First of all, the first thought is more sort of in the planning stage, but for us it was a very good way to work with cycling infrastructure on several service levels, because focusing at this commuter travel network for cyclists has made it possible to say that we have some specific route where we take the infrastructure to another, a better service level for the cyclist. And in that way, it's also a way to state that on these specific routes we prioritize cycling. And then I have put a dot in about that the hard measures go hand in hand with the soft measures, and that has something to do with what I talked about the visibility and the branding part, because for us it's very important also to attract new users. So making the initiatives visual for the public is very important in order to attract new users and remain people on the bike. And then looking at more aspects than just the traffic safety has for us been a way to guide our work, looking at also free flow conditions and visibility and service for the bicyclists has been a good way for us to sort of to focus our work. Yeah, and of course all of it has to do with getting more people on the bike. This was my presentation. I hope you could hear me all right.
Thank you, Anne-Marie. I think we will go right to the next and the last city presentation. Debbie Reed from Brighton and Hove City Council. The floor is yours, and we will have questions from everybody after this presentation.
Unmuted.
Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
I see your slides, Debbie, but I don't hear you.
For some reason,
Unmuted.
can you hear me now?
I hear you very, very vague.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, vaguely. Gustav, are you there?
Yes, I am. Just trying to see what I can do here. Debbie, can you say something again? It's not working. I think maybe you could go through your slides, and we can see what's on them.
Yes, thank you, Debbie, and I'm sorry, everybody, for the sound problems. Unfortunately, this is yeah, this is how it ends for you, Debbie. I'm really sorry. Maybe, Gustav, you can mute because I can hear myself. Yes, so now it's better. Yes, now it's 11:30. We were supposed to end this webinar now, but I would like to have a few questions if you still have the time out there to continue just for a few minutes. We have 2 questions. One for San Sebastian. It's a question from Cosimo Chiffi, I think. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. Can you, Gustav, see if Cosimo is on the line and would like to ask his question?
Yeah. And the question was not for the colleague from Spain, but for Simonetta from Monza.
Oh, sorry.
The question was was related to the costs of the bike sharing systems in Monza. So I mean, it's maybe an option to shift that amount of money to other measures, and in particular, I'm interested in this amount of money. So what is the total investment that the municipality planned in a first time, and then they decided to shift for the financial crisis and so forth? And a similar question is also for Elke, because it's very interesting about the parking space. Just some figures about the costs of some of that measures, for example. Thank you.
Thank you, Cosimo.
Shall I answer? Sorry, but I didn't catch who is asking the question, because the audio is very bad, unfortunately.
Yes, the question was from Cosimo Chiffi. Chiffi, sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay, thank you. At the moment, we have not shifted any money from the from the bike sharing scheme to infrastructures, because we simply had some extra revenues from another chapter of the budget in the public works department. So we still have money to invest on the bike sharing scheme, and at the moment we are thinking to invest about 600,000 euros. Obviously, everything will be clearer when the tender documents will be prepared, and we will also have a contribution by the Regional Lombardia for the bike sharing scheme. We know that usually the costs of bike sharing are very high, especially as far as the maintenance is concerned. And just a few days ago, we had a press release about the costs of bike sharing in Milan. But we are going to try anyway to invest on this scheme because there is a strong movement of cyclists who ask for it, and we think it can be useful, especially because we have an important university in Monza, which can be easily accessible by bike for students coming to Monza by train.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, it's perfect. I had this idea of an amount of money, and it's quite high, I know, but it's definitely an indication of the amount of for this type of investment. It's always quite a lot of money, but in any case, I can understand. And just to see, please.
If it can be useful to you, please consider that we will have the project has been put for 8 stations with 80 places for bikes and for 56 bicycles. And in the costs is also included the revamping of the old bicycle parking near the railway station. Okay.
Okay. Thank you so much, Simonetta.
Yes, and you, Elke, that was also a question for you about, I think, the prices for the parking solutions in-house.
Mm-hmm.
So I will answer very quick because I have to leave, but the costs of a renovation of a house, it depends on the renovation of the house, of course. I cannot put a price on that. And also, when you are interested in the price of the neighborhood cycle racks, I think that you can ask your question to the city of Ghent. They are also involved in CIVITAS, and I think that they will be very happy to help you with that.
Thank you.
I can not answer this question.
In any case, I think it's very, the cost of adapting an apartment is very limited compared with the other type of costs that a family has, in any case, to pay for. So I think it's marginal investment.
Good. Thank you both. We have Benoit Beirut is still with us. Hope I'm pronouncing the name right. Can you see, Gustav, if we have...
Can you listen to me?
Yes, I hear you.
Hello, yes, okay, I'm just here. So, Benoit Beirut from France. I work for Mobiped, a consultancy office. My question was to Elke about parking in buildings. In France, there is a law that that says that there should be a number of bicycle parking slots in new buildings, and I would like if it is the same in Belgium or in other countries.
Yes, I see now that Elke has left.
Yes, left.
She had some other meeting to attend to, but Marianne, her colleague, I think will pass the question on to her, and I think she can get back to you.
Perfect.
Good.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for participating. I see we have, I think the last question is from Pascal van der North about the role of Civitas. Are you there, Pascal?
Yes, I'm here. Hello all. I hope you found this wonderful. I hope you found this a wonderful meeting, and I think it's very helpful to, even though it's sometimes technically complicated, but to have meetings like this because you hear things that you may not have learned before. My question was in general, maybe too big one for now, but how you liked working in Civitas, and if this was helpful, or if you would do it the next time, you may do it differently. Is there anybody who wants to comment on that?
Very good question. Any of the presenters want to answer?
Yeah, I could comment on that one.
Yeah, Anne-Marie, yeah.
Yeah, it's Anne-Marie from Aalborg. I think for us, the Civitas initiatives is a very good platform to be able to test new ways of doing things. So for us, it's also a way to be able to sort of to try to test things that we haven't done before. And of course, some of them will be more successful than others, but again, you can say that it's all the learning that is also very important to do. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, Anne-Marie. Do you come in? Do you have something to add about how you found it to work within the Civitas program? No, not answer. Yeah, come in.
No, for us it has been an opportunity to focus in some measures like cycling and learn from other cities visiting the places, and because every city has things that we have to learn, so I think it's a good way to have information from other places like this meeting and learn from everybody, and that's very important for us.
And I must tell you, you live in the most wonderful part of the world. I was yesterday in Gasteiz and cycled around, and also there it is really, really improving, and it's stunning.
Thank you.
And Katarina, how has it been for you?
Actually, can I have one question which was late here for rather a general one? If you have, or some of you have experience with those strollers that you can actually put on bicycles for children. You have some experience if it is safe for the children, if there is a place to store it, or that we don't have experience with this. So we were just wondering if some of you have experience with this.
Yeah. I'm really sorry, I didn't get a lot of the question. There was a lot of noise. Could you please repeat your question?
Yes. The question is if some of you have experience with the stroller, for children that you can put behind the bike, that you can actually put on your bike for children, if you want to carry a small child with you. If you have experience with this in terms of safety and storing the stroller and
crossing the street, crossing the.
Yeah, I've seen them in Holland, in the city of Groningen. Yeah, but do you have an answer to the question of what your experience has been with working with Civitas?
Sorry, the experience was very nice. If the question was what would we do differently, That's just that we would like to try to implement some of the solutions that we propose for improvement. So we would like to implement some of these because all we could do so far was just the soft measures. So we have some ideas that we would like to implement in the future. So
Okay.
yeah, so that we would use this.
Within CIVITAS Mimosa, we will have a meeting next week in Strasbourg with members of the European Parliament, where we will claim that there's less money in Europe at the moment, especially in cities, and a lot of the infrastructural funds go to these big stuff like highways and metros, and we're going to ask those people there to make more money free for sustainable urban mobility and to shift part of the budgets from big projects to urban mobility projects like the CIVITAS projects, and I'm sure we have your support in that one.
Sounds good. Yes. A final comment maybe from Marius?
Yes.
On the experience with CIVITAS?
Well, yes, we consider that for Yash it was a very nice experience. We have learned a lot of things. We have changed informations, and so certainly we have a lot of things also to develop, to implement. But we consider that experiences like this are very good in this way.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, I think I don't have any more questions in my chat box. So due to the fact that we are already over time, I would like to, if there are no more questions, to end this webinar by saying, first of all, thank you to everybody for participating. I hope you got some really interesting information during the last 90 minutes. And all the presentations will be on the CIVITAS website, so you can get them there. And you will also receive an evaluation link in the mail, and please fill it in so that this type of seminar we can get some input on improvements. And also I have promised to inform you that there is a new BiPAD auditor training session in Graz, Austria, from the 2nd to the 4th of July. There are open spots for those of you who are interested in becoming BiPAD auditors. So, unless there's somebody who has other comments, I think this is it for the CIVITAS webinar. Thank you so much for joining. Have a great day, and maybe some of you will be at Ecom or VeloCity, and we can meet in real life there. That's it for me.